I'm just gonna put it out there. New print-on-demand sellers rarely have a strong start on Etsy. Why? Because it is the lowest perceived barrier to entry next to digital products, and it's really easy to execute this poorly. So many people are executing print-on-demand poorly that only the cream of the crop rise to the top of search results. So today I'm going to cover 7 print-on-demand sins or mistakes to make sure that we can get your print-on-demand shop back on track. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan Jarris, and I'm an Etsy shop owner of about 7 years. I've sold over $1.5 million in revenue on the platform, over $1 million in profit, and my entire background is corporate e-commerce. Now I teach hundreds of Etsy sellers, just like you, how to scale their businesses to multi-six figures. About half of my students are very small shops or brand new shops, and the other half of my students are very large shops. Some of them are doing over $100,000 a month. So let's break down the 7 mistakes that I see print-on-demand sellers making that really contributes to their slow start. Number 1 is misplaced designs. And I typically see this happen in a few ways. One is for apparel, especially tops. The design is either too high, up really close to the neckline, or too low, kind of below the chest. Now on mugs, I often see this happen with the mock-ups where the mock-up is showing just a corner of the design and it's not even showing the full design, so no one can even read what it says. The next type of misplacement are designs that are way too small for the item. So where it is actually like impossible for someone on mobile to read what the words say. If someone cannot tell what the design is, if they cannot read what it says, there's no way they're going to even click into it. The other type of misplacement that I see is when designs are different sizes on different mock-ups. So maybe they have 5 different mock-ups in the listing, and in one of the mock-ups, it looks like the thing is like 2 inches, and in the other mock-up, it looks like the thing is like a foot. So the customer is really not clear on what to expect regarding the size of the item. When the size of the design is inconsistent in the listing photos, they know it's going to be an inconsistent result for what they receive. The second mistake I see is vanilla designs, and I have a video on this, so definitely check it out. I'll put it in the description here. But I'm talking about, live, laugh, love, things that say blessed, things that just say mama. Remember, if you're a brand new shop, bland is not the way to go. Because if you're going up against a market leader that has kind of a vanilla design, your vanilla design from a shop with no track record, no history, there's really not a good way to win. All right, number 3 is terrible fonts. Okay, I see this all the time. This can really kill a listing, and most of the time, the sellers don't realize that the fonts look bad. Most of us don't have a graphic design background, but font choice, and when it comes to putting fonts together, that's where it can become really obvious that maybe you have no background in graphic design. So fonts can really kill a whole listing. I see it all the time, and it's where, the concept, the design, it's a good idea, but the execution totally flops because the font choice is just off. So the same thing goes for digital products, but today we're just talking about print on demand. And you know what? Honestly, I bet a lot of people probably spend like an hour, maybe like more than that, trying to come up with the fonts that they're going to use for their designs. They're scrolling through, trying to compare options, trying different font combinations. Really, it becomes a little bit of analysis paralysis trying to choose your fonts. You can totally overthink this. And other times, people who have no idea what font would look good, they just take 10 seconds and pick whatever is the first thing that jumps out at them. And while one person took, an hour or more and the other person took 10 seconds, if you have no design background and no kind of intuition on what fonts look good together, the result could be equally as bad. So what is the easiest fix here? Let's fix this. I highly recommend looking up these words on Google: Canva font duo, or look up Blogger font duo. You're going to find different articles and things where the professionals will guide you for free. This is the easiest and fastest way to know what font pairings look good together and which fonts are actually in. Also, if a listing is totally sucking, try changing the font. Another thing with fonts is something that I stumbled upon with one of my students. She was selling tumblers with, it was about 6 to 8 different font choices. Now, there was friction in the purchasing process due to the font choices. And if you offer choices for different fonts that the customer can choose from, you can really damage your conversion rate if you offer fonts that are too similar or you simply have too many options. You need to make your listing an easy decision, especially when it comes to choosing fonts. You need to make that decision for the customer super easy and straightforward. The next thing that I want to talk about is the standard white backgrounds for mockups. You will 100% not compete with market leaders if you do this. Honestly, if that's what your plan is to use standard white backgrounds, I would not even take time to publish listings. listings. The other mistake I see with mockups is using all the same type of mockup where the entire shop is using the same mockup as the main listing photo. I've heard a lot of people recommending that you should do this on YouTube, but when you do that, you're actually missing a huge opportunity to test out what your customers might respond to better. You really want to optimize your click-through rate, and you can't do that if you're not testing different mockup styles. The next mistake I see with print on demand is related to colors. When you are designing with print on demand, I highly recommend choosing the background color of the item before you choose the colors that are going to be in the design. I recommend prioritizing the background color choice versus the color of the design. One example of this is, let's say you have a design with a beige element in it. Well, whether or not that design has something beige in it, that's really likely not going to affect whether or not the customer purchases it. But if having that beige color in the design itself means that you can no longer offer the sand color sweatshirt option, then that might be a reason that they wouldn't purchase it. So when you're creating designs, create them with the background color in mind, and always prioritize the best selling background colors. So make designs that look good on sand. Make sure they also look good on white, maybe light pink, maybe light blue, maybe hunter green. Prioritize your best selling color backgrounds before you choose the colors of the design. And the whole reason for this is because you don't want the design to blend into the background. So in that case, you likely wouldn't offer that background color. And really, customers are shopping based on background color more than they're shopping based on design color. So this means, like, if someone wants a black sweatshirt, they want a black sweatshirt. So if you are prioritizing having black writing on the shirt, obviously then you can't sell the black sweatshirt. And if black is your best selling color, then you don't want to have all of your designs with black writing. So reverse engineer your listings with the element that people desire the most. And typically that's an item's kind of base color or background color versus the color details of the design itself. The next mistake I see is focusing too much on item type instead of the customer. So I do not recommend building a shop based on item type. So let's say a shop with all t-shirts, or maybe a shop with all mugs. Instead, I would choose the customers that I want to sell to, the profitable ones, and build my product mix for them. You're much more likely to have multi-item orders if you can offer the same type of person a variety of things that they want. Now, you can combine different types of customers in the same shop, but just make sure that they're not conflicting or in opposition. And I do have a framework for deciding this if you need help. The last mistake that I see print-on-demand sellers making that is causing them to not get traction early on is not optimizing for mobile and desktop. Most of the time, print-on-demand sellers are creating their products on desktop. They're publishing their listings on desktop. Not many people double check their listings on mobile. So we always need to optimize your listings for mobile before publishing it. Because nowadays, sometimes more than half of your customers will be shopping on mobile instead of desktop. And while you are optimizing it for mobile, don't forget to optimize it for Pinterest. Otherwise, you might as well skip the whole Pinterest strategy, honestly. If you need help with any of this, or if you'd like some one-on-one help in your shop, feel free to schedule a free call with the link below in the description to learn more about how we can help you and how we can also customize our services to fit your needs. We can also show you the whole back end of what we offer, and you can see the students and the interactions and everything when you schedule that call with us. We'd be happy to show you around to see if it is even something that you're interested in. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.